Hello, and welcome to another episode of Despite the Challenges, a show where we showcase people who have not only overcome tremendous challenges and impeding circumstances, they turn around their own lives and inspire us all. Today, my guest is Keenu Hale. Keenu had been with us before, and his story and his amazing artwork is so talented work that he has put it out for us to enjoy, see, and inspire. We wanted to bring him back. And just to kind of tell you a little bit about Keenu, I'm sorry. Keenu had undetected seizure at age 6 months of his age. He had been diagnosed with grand mal seizures, then multiple disabilities, speech delays, cerebral palsy in his feet. At age 5, he is diagnosed with Asperger's. As he grew up, he has not only overcome a lot of these physical challenges, but the abilities, the amazing talent he had shown, which progressed as he progressed. He has become an amazing artist and a local celebrity of his own. He has 3 different series of the sketchbooks artist. Is that correct, Keenu?
Yes, indeed, yes.
Okay, well, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So tell me, we talked about in our last show, life in the suburbs, the Timmy and the Stitch Crows, and in their story. I want you to tell our audience a little bit more about that, so we refresh what you had been doing with the Stitch Crows family and how the stories are progressing.
Well, once I was making, starting out making Timmy and the Stitch Crows, I just wanted to come up with just this family series where, where the main characters of the family have these types of trials and lessons, like every family
has.
Yes.
Yes. And the Stitch Crow family who lives in the suburbs, and they have adopted a human boy who was abandoned in the fields, right?
Right.
Okay. So tell me, how is the little boy doing with the Stitch Crow family in your next series?
Yes, he's opening up to the idea of having scarecrows as parents, and he doesn't mind. And most likely, his character is still evolving. I'm trying to take his character to new places, like how he reacts while going to school and how he's making new friends, because, he's basically a loner. And
in the family.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has a little brother, Stitch Crow brother.
Yes.
What's his name?
Jinko. He's basically the youngest scarecrow of the family, and he basically is the nuisance that follows Timmy around because, to Jinko, Timmy is like an extraordinary person in the world.
Okay, and then there's a big sister, the
Yes.
evil big sister, right?
Yes, Lacey.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about her. What's her name?
Lacey Stitch Crows. She acts as Timmy's nemesis, kind of like a sibling rivalry, but extreme. She most likely tried to make Timmy's life horrible by, always scaring and picking on him. And basically, Timmy's tried to keep one step ahead, but fails.
So how does the 2 little brothers, the Stitch Crow brother and the human brother, they plot against the big sister? Have you come up with any story that brothers getting together against the big sister, or you have?
Oh, yeah, so somewhere in the 3rd.
in the third series.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a kind of a story in the progression.
Yeah.
Where do you get all these ideas? Who inspires you?
Well, I'm an easily inspired person. I try to, open up and be versatile with different ideas. Like, I watch a lot of sitcoms like Seinfeld and George Lopez, and I really react to those, type of comedic timing a lot, and it sticks to me. And I sometimes trust my own self to figure out what I find funny and what I find, sweet and charming. And I try to put that a lot in the books I make as I can.
I have seen your gallery and I have seen your library of books. You have stacks and stacks of them. It seems like that your ideas are just flowing to you.
Yeah.
And how do you keep yourself so immersed in just creating these type of stories and creating such artwork? And is it something that that's all you want to do?
Well, mostly I'm open to new ideas like book illustration or animation, like whatever gets my characters out there, to the public. Like that's mostly the goal of what I want to do, to make my characters known.
I remember when you were here the first time and listening to your teachers had to say in elementary school or middle school, junior middle school, that they couldn't keep up with you.
Oh.
They couldn't keep up with you. It was so fascinating for them to watch you draw flawlessly and with such an ease. Has anything changed in your preferences that you want to keep doing sketches, or is there anything else that you're working at?
Well, mostly I basically in school, so I'm trying to heighten my drawing abilities, because sometimes even though how good I am, I still have some flaws that I want to improve, like with background and perspective. So I think that's working swimmingly because I'm currently in drawing class and the
visual arts.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
teachers that are currently teaching me, they're impressed. They don't say a lot, but I can see in their eyes that they're impressed.
Well, I'm sure that they are. We are all impressed that whoever had watched your artwork, have seen your artwork and watched you creating that, they're all impressed. So you're moving away from anything, from the cartoon art to any visual art or animation?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. How is that going? You like that?
Yes, it's doing good.
Have you created anything in animation yet?
Well, mostly next semester I have to do this 3-minute animation, my first thesis film.
Okay.
And
Great.
I just finished yesterday this whole animatic, it's kind of like a storyboard with all the sound and
I see.
sound and characters acting out. So.
And I assume that you pick and choose that what you want this animation to be and the kind of sound that you want.
Yes.
Do you create any musical sounds yourself? Yeah, music. Do you play any musical instrument?
Sadly, I don't.
You don't. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have helpers to help you there.
Yeah.
Yes. Before I get to other stuff that you are doing for next year coming in sometime January, February, and the first quarter of 2015, I want to go back to your book series. So this was the first of them, and you said that there are 3 of them.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more what's going on in the second series, and then what's going on in the third series with the Stitch Grow family.
Timmy goes to school in the second book, where he's trying to fit in, and where Jinko
in a Stitch Grow
yes,
community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timmy and Jinko are trying to fit into the new society.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with Lacey, who's trying to gain friends since she never had any. And it mostly goes into wild turns at the end, so I'm not going to put anything out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then the story goes to the third series. And where does it start on the series 3? Where are they in their life? Has it become teenager now, or is not yet?
Well, no, not yet.
Okay.
Basically, I'm trying to pick out little parts of each character and evolve them. So in the third part, it kind of evolves around Burlap, who's basically, he only knows scaring, like he doesn't know anything else. So like as a provider, he tries to provide for his family, but he doesn't know how to in this community. So he's trying to find a job.
Okay, is the Burlap is the
Father.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any characters in this book that we can show to our audience that you have carried them throughout your series besides this family?
Yeah.
There are. Can you point them out? Any of those characters, and tell us a little bit about what's happening with them in series 2.
That's Shane.
Shane.
Yeah.
Okay, and Shane is
Shane
a star in the series 2 and series 3 as well, or he's just a...
Well, he acts as Jinko's first human friend besides Timmy.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's really excited to see another human besides his human brother.
Okay, and that's all in the Stitchcrow school.
Yeah, mostly he doesn't go to school. He's mostly like a kindergartner.
Oh, okay.
So he's mostly seen around in the neighborhood.
Okay, so I haven't read the story, so I have to ask you the question. So you tell me. Okay, so and then he goes to series 2, and is he in series 3 as well too? Okay, so they're becoming friends.
Yes.
And you keep creating these stories. Any other family story that you have created or plan to create?
Mostly, I have a lot of ideas for stories, but mostly I just concentrate on this a lot since it was getting so many reactions. Yeah, I also go to different levels of genres, such as I made this book called The Ragamuffins. It's basically
Ragamuffins, okay.
Yeah, it's basically take back in 1930s.
Okay.
Which is in 1930s in Chicago, and it stars these 4 ne'er-do-well orphans who's trying to help their orphanage, get noticed, because most of the kids there are misfits and looked down upon. So they're trying to do something about it, but in their own way, which is bad. And Doc is the leader of the kids. He's the unofficial leader, and he tries to come up with a plan to, get the adults to see them as good kids, so they can go to these homes that they need so dearly.
Wonderful. And where did you come up with inspiration for the stories from 1930s?
I watched a lot of stories that involves orphans, like Annie and Oliver and Company and such. And I always loved the charm back in the 1930s through 1950s.
Watching those black and white movies and stuff, and then you create stories out of that. What kind of response you get from people who watch these sketchbooks and they see you live? What do people say?
Mostly, all I can say that I always hear wow and how people smile and snicker a bit. So that's a good thing. Like I always make these just to create laughs and bring people together. So I think I'm doing my job right.
Yes, you are. And you are going to be hosting a workshop for children at Corden Critics Princeton University Library for Children. Tell me a little bit about that workshop.
Mostly it's something that I'm getting into by just to help out because mostly I just want to offer what I can to the community and people.
Okay. And who are these children? Are they coming from the regular area schools or coming from any special needs schools? Who are these children?
They're basically people for a library.
Okay. Okay. So you are going to be creating this workshop for them to learn artwork?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, for people who want to, learn like, drawing and creativity as much as they want to.
Tell me a little bit more about the Einstein standee that you have at Shelley's in Princeton.
Mostly it was an idea that me and my friend Robert Hummel came up with the idea after I made the Stitch Crow standees. Like he had the idea of making this Einstein standee for the pastry store in Princeton, and I went aboard with that. And mostly he came up with the sketch first, and I tried to improve it as much as I can by making it stand out.
Okay. And I'm sure that it was a lot more fun doing something different than creating your ongoing stories. Did you like creating something as iconic as Einstein?
Oh yeah.
Yes. What else you're working at?
Mostly, I'm currently working with my animation. Like I just explained that, but mostly is what I'm really into right now currently, and mostly I even worked on one of the voices for my characters in the little animation. So.
Oh, which one? Anyone from the Stitch Crow family?
No. It's kind of like a different story.
Okay.
It involves this Victorian therapist who tries to improve the lives of monsters because he sees monsters as poor, creatures who needs like
some therapy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me, for my audience, let me just kind of step back. So this is another series of yours, that you have a therapist who is trying to give some sort of help to these monster creatures to improve their lives.
Yeah, like werewolves or Frankenstein or vampires or such.
Okay. Now, is this therapist a human therapist, or is it one of the Stitch Crow's type
he's
of?
A human therapist, 100% human.
Okay. And how does that story evolve?
Mostly, I'm not sure because I just started. Like, I had the character, the therapist character, his name is Dr. Scrapton. And mostly, he was always the type of character that I had trouble evolving back then. But now I know what to do with him now, so I'm starting out this idea of a creature therapist.
So in this animation, you are the voice. So Keenu Hale is the voice for Dr. Scrapton, the therapist.
Yes.
Okay, so that sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch that. So do you have different series on that, or it's just like you're starting out on it now? And
yeah, it's my first series, but I did make some drawings of it back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have those pictures.
Hopefully, yes, you do.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we'll show those pictures to our audience.
Doctor, you should mind your distance.
No worries. You must be the patient. You little...
I told you!
Could you exit the room? I'd like to begin with our lesson.
Of course.
Well, shall we start then? I'll fix that.
Now, you are also going to be participating in the Attach Avi Autism Foundation fashion show. You'd be doing modeling.
Yes.
You will be. What else are your plans? How else you want to see yourself in that show?
Mostly never put any thought into it. Mostly I try to mostly just stand out as the, artist who's in the fashion show. Yeah.
Okay. And any other ideas to create something special for that occasion with your artwork, or is are you?
Well, mostly what I really want is to have my characters on television. Is like one of my oldest and strongest dreams. I want to make a reality.
Okay.
Yeah, and mostly I'm working on my first animation at SVA, is a school where I'm at, and
SVA school?
yes.
Could you explain a little bit?
It's a school I'm currently participating in. It's a school full of artists who wants to make a career in the art world.
Okay, and that is your visual art
Yes.
that you talked about. Okay, all right. Okay, so in that your animation, is there any favorite topic that you have, or you want to create something new?
Mostly, I did enjoy storyboarding the thing because I'm a storyteller. I like making up stories. Is mostly what I did do, and I really got a kick out of it. That a lot of people in my class responded to, and.
What's your favorite story? Or among all those stories that you have created, what is your favorite one?
I think it has to do with the ragamuffins.
Ragamuffins?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you like best part?
I guess because it's taken this old familiar place filled with classical whimsy and charm that I really grew up with as a kid, so it really takes me back, and I feel it whenever I come up with ideas for the story, and the characters.
And you plan to create a animation out of the ragamuffins?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What else is there that you would like to create a new series book of Stitch Crow? You already got 3 series of them. Anything else in Stitch Crow family happening in near future?
Mostly, yes. I only have ideas for a few, but maybe in the future I'll come up with more. Yeah.
You have to watch some more other stories to come up with new stories?
Yeah, just to see how it evolves from and pick up from there.
Okay. I want to ask you, you are doing some teaching for homeless children at Homefront.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it. How did this come about? And what are you going to be teaching them?
Well, turns out that my mom was is related to one of the teachers there. So out of kindness, she offered me like a position to teach the kids at home front, and I volunteered out of kindness to offer some knowledge as much as I could. And it was kind of awkward for me since I wasn't the teaching type, but I tried to be there for the kids, and honestly, they did like what I had to say and what I had to show them, and it was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was very inspiring for those children also.
Yes.
Are you going to go back work with them?
Yeah, so I'm trying to teach them the basics of how to draw with shapes and character development, just the simple stuff, because I take it that they haven't, learned most of the basics. I know that some of them are very good already, but I'm just trying to, start with the kids who doesn't know much about it. So, yeah.
So you want to become a teacher?
Well, if it's in my blood, then I'll try to improve that, yes.
Otherwise, you stick yourself creating more and more stories and inspire people, and with your stories that you create. Is that something more of your preference, to keep creating animation and stories?
Yes, mostly like I only have like one animation that's in progress right now, so hopefully at the end I will have an animation to show.
Okay.
So
not so much of teaching job.
Yeah, but I'll keep that in mind whenever I come across children in the future.
Okay, well, that sounds very inspiring. So I can't wait to see all your animations that you are planning in the in first quarter. All these activities coming up for you. You're keeping yourself pretty busy with your school, your art school, your volunteer work, your animation and creation, and you are fortunate, Keenu, that you have such a good mother and your family support and your mentors around you that had given you the platform to grow and inspire not only children but adults as well with what you have shown with these simple sketches and stories that anything is possible, or disabilities are just in our minds, nothing more than that. Is there anything else you would like to share with our audience?
Well, maybe just like a few words of wisdom, like there's, for people who feel like they can't do much, there's always a spark of hope out there. And I always thought that I couldn't do much. I even met people at SVA who went there, felt like they can't do much, and like I said, you were here for a reason. All people are here for a reason. Like, there's not a person out there who's not here for a reason. So, like, you have something in you, let it out.
Thank you. Keenu, thank you so much for being here today, and I wish you so much success.
Thank you.
The disabilities exist around mind. No matter how much support that our families, friends, and others can provide us, unless someone thinks that he cannot do, he can't. Until next time, I am host Ritu Chopra, and you are watching Despite the Challenges.